So just bear in mind, we're building up every week on week a nice rich library of videos to watch if you want to. So it's not just today. So of course this will be in a replay as well for all the people who can't make it. They can always watch it later. I want you initially to think about what your focus might be for today, or are you just being led by me? This is very helpful to me to know exactly what you're thinking, so that I can sculpt the session really well for you. It's only 30 minutes and it goes very, very quickly indeed. Okay, Steve, I see your words, jaw and posture. Okay, these of course are very important, both of those things, the posture and the jaw, and they are so related because, you know, everybody, whoever comes for singing lessons, always thinks about posture. What does posture mean? And if you say to a group of adults in an adult education setting, you say, well, let's think about posture, everybody puffs themselves up and pushes their shoulders back. But of course, it's actually more than that for us singers. It's about understanding the whole system, how I've said we are our instrument. Okay, but what does that actually mean? On a very basic scientific level, it means that as we are learning about our craft, the technique, you have to always bear in mind as to how we are doing this thing, and how it doesn't only come down to your little vocal folds in there, it's the whole of you. Your understanding of posture and how that will affect how you hold yourself, and how all the intrinsic muscles that we use for singing come together to want to try and play their part. But if your posture is slightly out of whack from habits, from life, from lethargy, from fatigue, you know, so this would be something to really pay attention to. These are very individual things, and it's perfectly fine to kind of just settle back and just go through the motions with me. Just get down into your good self, where you are at the moment. I've shut all the doors here. I even shut the windows because I can hear there's a builder across the road, and I just want to be able to focus on what I'm doing for the next 25 minutes. All right, now just be aware of any physical tensions that you might hold, or Debbie, for you, a little bit of activity might be good, you know, just a nice upward stretch. Ooh, that's hard. Gardening. Ooh. Okay, to feel how elevated your rib cage can really be, and then as you put your arms down, you just make sure you don't lose that, and the weight of our rib cage and all the bits and pieces on top, you know, can really press down. So start to think about that. I mean, rotate your shoulders, be careful with your neck and your jaw. Really important in singing, the relationship that we have with the weight of the head on the neck, but also on the shoulders, and how easy it is to bring them round. Okay, and as you're doing that, what you're going to start to think about is allowing the air to come and go through an open throat for us singers. In this instance, it is possible to sing songs and take a breath through your nose, but for our purposes in this technique, top up, we're just thinking about inviting the air in. So you're going to start to do that and really kind of focus in on what's happening, what is happening, what's the movement that you can feel right down here. When you're completely out of air, just invite it back in. Think happy thoughts, think lovely kind of inspirational thoughts, and just play with that idea of just inviting in and feeling really good facially. Really think about your muscles. You know, you don't want to sing with a, you know, downward. You want to elevate, activate those facial muscles. Okay, and when you're ready, I want you to go through the breathing exercise. I'm going to do it too, and you can follow me, or you can do it under your own steam, but just send me a thumbs up when you're all done, got through the breathing bit, thinking always about your posture. We'll come back to posture, okay, in a few minutes, but first of all, let's just do the breathing exercise. So I'm checking my posture, making sure sitting here at the piano that my bottom is tucked under, okay, and I get that nice lower back stretch. I'm feeling tall. Okay, hold air out, allowing the air in. So there's my thumbs up. I've finished. Now, I'm very aware that sometimes in the year I get a very kind of irritable airway, just because to do with, you know, the hay fever season. I don't have hay fever, but since teaching in schools, I've noticed that I have this little grumble at particular times of the year. So in a breathing exercise, I try not to make it too blasting the air out, otherwise it will initiate a cough and I don't want that. So send me a thumbs up. Yeah, I can see them coming in. Great, great, great. So think about that. And the most significant body response whilst you're doing that exercise is the intake of breath in between the two exhalations. Okay, right, so you want to keep the, Sophie's quite right, she's just said monitor the evenness of the air coming out. You want to make sure that your air coming out is not kind of just too soft, like a little kind of wet S. You need to have a feeling of resistance. Right, you want to have a feeling of resistance, that's it. So you want a real sort of pressure cooker type sound, if you know what that sounds like. So kind of TZS idea, okay? And you should feel your abdominal muscles just below your rib cage, kind of feel there's something going on down there. Okay, so we've done that. We're thinking about posture all the time. Hi, Sue, you're with us, hooray! So, having sort of established that and feeling good about it, we're going to go straight into these lip trills. Now, I understand that lip trills can be a bit tricky for a person who's never met them before. And I do know that amongst even well-established singers, sometimes they find lip trills really hard to do. But please bear with me and trust me, they are golden. Okay, here's the lip trills. If you can't very well, then you could do just a rolled R, which I find impossible, or you could try even a nice gentle or even a if you're feeling adventurous. Really just something to get your body engagement going. Here we go, ready? Up and down the fifth, like this. So something to suit. One other sound you could try, which is I find difficult, is v. So you got your lower lip just behind your teeth there. Quite hard, but you do get the body engagement. Okay, so up and down fifths. Here we go, and next one. Just a couple more. Oh, I hope you've got lots of tingles on your nose. That's always a good sign. Now, we're not going to talk too much right now. I'm going to try octaves, okay? Now, the scoop, the slide is very important. You try to keep it linked. Not jumping, because that encourages all sorts of things down here. So we want the slide. Okay, here we go. Just a few of these. Again, this is for check your posture, body engagement, okay? And also that initial instigation of the sound, like saying now. You've got to get really good at that moment when you want to make the sound. Here we go, which of course is onset of a type. Here we go, and Now these are harder in a way because you've got to, once you've come down, you've got to go back up. And if you find this in a song, you can often be psychologically a bit kind of about that. So it's good to practice. So F major, that was just G major. We finished on a G. We're coming down into an F. We're going to try some descending lip trills, octave jumps. So as we do this, we're still trying to think of being nice and level and not dropping down onto the lower pitch, which then makes it really hard. And last week at the end of the session, I suggested that if you find you're doing that all the time, dropping down, psychologically trick yourself by doing the opposite in your thoughts, or perhaps even tracing the shape with the finger. So if you start high, you can have your finger down here and do kind of makes, it's kind of like, you know, confusing to the brain, but it's helpful to the voice. Are you ready? Here we go. I've just seen your comment, Debbie, by the way. I'll come back to that in just a tick. Here we go. And try a yawny feel. Just a few more. Last one. Okay, so how did you do with that? Now we've been up to a top G, and if you were with me right to the end there, we went down to a bottom G there. And I know that that pitch is very attainable for some of the singers in the group today. So how was that for you? And Debbie, now your comment about, I think that's what I mean, having low energy so the body engagement exercises are needed, exactly. And you know what? This is going to sound really awful, but you know, I don't often do a huge, great vocal warm-up. Never have been one of those people. According to my vocal coach, that's absolutely fine, each to their own. But if there is ever an exercise that I really have to do if I'm feeling a bit under-energized, it's the lip trill. And I can do anything to a lip trill. Let's have a little bit of fun. Debbie, you'll be sorry about this, but never mind. We're going from here. We're going to do, all of us, are you ready? So this is a little bit of just to see how you do, okay? But I'm going to do it, and then we change key, and you'll join in with me, okay? So it goes like this. This is something I might do, having got a little bit warmed up, and I still think I need a bit of a challenge. So I will do. So basically making sure I'm exhaling all of my air on a lip trill. That really does engage the body. Now we're going to do a few of those. You can join in with me, but it doesn't matter where you expire, okay? It's not a race or a test to see if you can do as many as I can do, because sometimes mine don't go well and I only do a couple, or you might you might all just grind to a halt. That's okay, but it's good to have a little bit of fun. And this does require body engagement, okay? So body engagement, what's that? That's all to do with as you allow the air in, the diaphragm drops automatically. You don't have to think about it, organizing it, you just have to allow it. The diaphragm drops, the larynx does this because they work together, and provided it's that nice happy position, you just focus on maintaining the three things, right, which is your power, your airflow to the source of the sound, your vibrations, which is your vocal folds, and the third element, which I talked about last time, is the resonator, you know, the back of your throat. Everything, the vocal tract, basically everything from the top side of the vocal folds up. Okay, that's it. Simple. Are you ready for a bit of fun? Here we go. Ready? And next one. bit of fun with yourself if you're feeling that you need to just crank up that energy a little bit more. Now we come to our NG hums, okay? We've been starting around about B flat major, just below middle C, and now I'm going to take it down a little bit because we're warming up, technique top up, and we're just going to do So just try and being very mindful of the drop of the jaw. That is not the pushing down of the jaw. It's just the kind of gormless expression. Just let the jaw drop. And if you're not sure what an comprises, just say the word sing and hang on to the last bit. Okay, so we're going to do here NG hums up and down the octave, not too slow. Okay, here we go. So you're still thinking about your posture because that's intrinsic to everything else. You're still thinking about how you're inviting the air in every time. And this time, here we go with NG hums, and now you've got to try and think about the jaw, right? Okay, good. So, let's say sing, and keep that gap there. Don't let it close up. Here we go. We're going to do octaves. Change key and then do the next one, okay? Here we go, ready? So all that body engagement, Debbie, you've still got to think of, okay, all the way through. If you're standing and you need a bit more body engagement, this is where you've got good knees, by the way. This is where you can dip your knees as you go up to the higher note. Because by virtue of the fact you're dipping your knees means that in order to support your body, your lower abdominal muscles, front and back, need to jump in and help keep you stable. So that's a nice thing to do as well. Okay, all right, are we ready? And don't jump. Last two. Okay, up to the top G again, F major. Now we're going to do them coming down. Okay, here we go, and don't drop off. Last couple. Last one. I think we do one more. Okay, now we finish in F major, which means we did hold 2 octaves there. Okay. Now I was leaning forward. I can't stand up and do the dippy knees because obviously you'd see my midriff all the time, and that would not necessarily be a nice thing. So what I was doing was I was just very slightly leaning forward on the piano stool. And Sue Louis is a great fan of this idea because she was the one who, within Virtually Vocalese, who kind of really pulled our attention to the efficacy for her for this thing. And that is that if you lean forward very slightly, of course, what we call the active muscle junctions, all right, sort of leap into action. Not only the ones at the front, the active muscle junctions being from just underneath your breastbone, in a diamond shape out to the sides of your waist, and then from those points down to the pubic bone. Now in there is a diamond shape of active muscles and the active muscle junctions, but it also we have the back as well, because at the back, at your back, you have 2 diamond shapes of muscles that do a very important job of keeping us upright. Okay, and so when you're doing exercises and you're thinking about posture and you're not sure whether or not you're really whether you're really using the right muscles, then by simply leaning forward, those muscles come into play. So it's a great shortcut. Okay, Steve, you said harder going down. Yeah, your tendency to land on the bottom and lose support. I just told you that. Drop off. It's absolutely, in songs, you see it, feel it all the time. Right, so we're pressing on. So we're thinking about posture all the time because we are our instrument. It doesn't work on its own. So we've been thinking about that. We're inviting the air in. We're thinking about the diaphragm. We're thinking about body engagement. We're now talking about, you know, tricks and means to keep your body active whilst you're singing and getting a little bit more energy. Because I think, Debbie, are you teaching in a few minutes? I think you are. So now we've done our NG hums. And what I want to do now is we want to do... I'm just thinking about the time. We've got 5 minutes left. Ooh. Let's just do a few of these first of all. All right, so we're going to do, still keeping the NG hum going. All right. We're going to start thinking about our vowels actually and the shapes of vowels without doing too much with our actual lips, and thinking more about those three elements: your air, your vibration, your resonance, and the NG hum delivers it, and then you morph the sound from into ah, or air, or e, or o, or oo, as we're going to do, and then you come crawling, cascading down the other side with that vowel. Let's just give it a go and see how you do. All right, so still trying to engage all that body excitement at the thought of doing your singing. Here we go. To up a whole octave, and then down to ah first of all. Here we go. Ready? And Steve, no drop off. Okay, next one, and this will be air coming down, and E next. Now a O next. No drop off. And now ooh, be careful with that tongue. Okay, that just about gives you a chance to get yourself organized with your vowels coming down. All right, so coming to the last few minutes, it's important to go through this sort of sequence because you're kind of building up to actually getting your voice on, working to the best it possibly can be at the beginning of your singing. All right, so Technique Top Up Live is all about the steps you can take to just keep your voice nice and healthy and producing the sound in a really good, beneficial, vocally safe way. All right, so still thinking about posture and everything, we will do a new exercise this week, which I promised last week and I'd only just got a chance at the very end. It's the 9-note scale, okay? Now we're using a different sequence of vowels, but if at this point you are new to this and you are only just getting into the melody, the tune of the exercise, then just choose one vowel that you find quite easy initially to do the whole exercise on. But we're going to do a sequence of vowels and it sounds like this. It's going to be E, O, same, E, O, etc. Are you ready? Okay, so lots to think about. Choose one vowel if you're a bit confused with the vowel sequence, but you're still thinking about posture, you're still remembering to invite the air in, and you're still thinking about not dropping off as you come down the scale. Okay, here we go. All right, ready? Thinking about all those things. If you feel you need to engage those abdominal muscles, just lean forward a bit. Here we go, and keep the jaw relaxed. Again, we went up to a top G. So during the course of this technique top up live session, we've gone down to an F below middle C, and we've also gone up to the top G. So we've covered just over, yeah, so 2 octaves and a note, which, you know, for a quick sort of warm up, getting into your singing, that would be adequate. You wouldn't need to do much more than that. So I thought there's someone at the doorbell then. So just be aware not to push yourself too much with a technique, sort of warm up, a top up idea. Don't push yourself too much, because you want to start small before you start pushing the voice out there and giving it all sorts of. Bye Debbie, have a good afternoon. Hope I've helped you a bit with your energy. So just think about that. Technique warm-ups, vocal warm-ups are just, you know, taking yourself from nothing to singing on a very small, safe sort of way, and nothing too big too soon. Thank you very much, everybody. More again very soon. Bye for now.